You know, I'm convinced that someone in your family killed my father.
But not me, right?
No. I know you had nothing to do with it. I think Alistair and Julian are responsible. Now I just have to prove it. You know, I've hated the Cranes my whole life. Now I just have more reason to hate them. They're evil. All the Crane men are evil. Your father, your brother, your nephew Ethan. They're all evil to the core.
You know, Ethan isn't like Julian or Alistair. He's a good and wonderful man.
I know you and Ethan are close. And you're more like brother and sister than nephew and aunt.
I know his heart. It's in the right place.
Well, maybe it was. And maybe he started out as a good kid. But money and power, they corrupt. No one's got more money and power than the Cranes. You know, now that he's a man and heir to the Crane Empire, he's a different person. You know, I've seen the way he throws his weight around with Sam and me. Even you.
He's just looking out for our family.
Whatever spin you put on it, I admire your loyalty for the guy. I remember Teresa had it in her head that Ethan was the man of her dreams. She had it all figured out. Once they met, they'd fall in love, get married. It's a good thing I put a stop to that. So now I'm convinced that the Cranes are responsible for my father's murder. There's no way I'd ever let Teresa and Ethan hook up and fall in love. Never. Hey, look, I'm sorry, you know. I don't mean to go on about how evil your family is. I know they're your own flesh and blood.
I understand how you feel. And if Julian and Alistair are involved in your father's disappearance, then they deserve all of your hatred. Mine too. Well, there's a first. We actually had a disagreement that didn't turn into a shouting match.
Yeah. You're right. Well, you know, I guess Crane Security should keep an eye on you now. I've got to go home and get some fresh clothes. Won't take long. You know, this was nice. This is real nice. Yeah, maybe when we get together again, we can do it without fighting.
I'd like that.
I bet I know why you're so happy.
You do?
Crane Security told me that Luis went home to get some clean clothes. You're glad Luis isn't here to pick another fight with you.
Actually, Luis and I just finished having a discussion where we disagreed on something and didn't yell at each other.
Really? Well, what changed?
Everything. I mean, Luis finally helped me to realize that what happened that night was just a nightmare.
But I told you not to get him involved in that.
I know, but I couldn't go on like that any longer. So Luis and Hank had Dr. Russell come over and hypnotize me.
What?
And get this. Under hypnosis, Eve learned that my memory of that night was just a dream. I projected Luis's father, Martin, as being the body under the sheet, but there was no body. It was all just a manifestation of the guilt that I felt over my mother's death. So the body, the coffin, the blood on my hands, they were all just symbols. None of it happened. I didn't kill Luis's father. And now that I know that, I can finally get on with my life. I finally have a chance of being happy.
You know, now that you and Luis both know that you didn't kill his father, I wonder if that would change things between you two.
I don't know yet. I mean, I do know that I'm the only Crane that he doesn't hate. Sorry.
Tell me something I don't know. No, in fact, Teresa and I were talking about Luis and his hatred for the Cranes.
You were with Teresa tonight?
Yes. That's why I came here to talk to you. There's a lot I have to tell you, Sheridan. But you know, after what you told me about Luis, I think we're kind of in the same boat. It seems members of the Lopez Fitzgerald family are going to become a big part of both our lives.
Why did you say that we're both going to be involved with a member of the Lopez Fitzgerald family? Luis and I aren't dating. We had a nice evening together and we bonded over some amazing things, but that's far from us having a relationship.
Well, it's just that earlier tonight, Teresa said that if you and Luis became a couple, it would be easier to tell him about us.
Us who? Not you and Teresa.
It's been a long night, you know, full of revelations and realizations. And one that may change the course of our family's history.
Oh my God, there is something going on between you and Luis's sister.
I realized tonight that I love Teresa.
You told Teresa that you love her?
I couldn't keep it from her any longer.
What about Gwen? I mean, the wedding, it's only a week away.
I'm calling the wedding off. I mean, I can't marry Gwen now. I mean, I love Teresa. It just wouldn't be right.
Ethan, this is...
Yeah, it's unbelievable, unthinkable, unexpected.
Yeah, all of the above and more. Look, you're my nephew, and I love you no matter what, but are you sure about this? I mean, do you love Teresa that much that you're willing to call off your engagement to Gwen? To cancel the wedding, to change your entire life?
Yes, I'm sure. I've gone to hell and back trying to sort out my feelings. And now that I have, there's no question. There's no doubt in my mind that I love Teresa and I want to be with her. And that's why I wanted to tell you first, because we've always been so close. But, you know, it's time everyone knew. And Teresa feels the same way. You know, and it just so happens that Luis went home. I'm sure she's telling Luis right now. You know, I wonder how Luis is gonna take the news that Ethan Crane is in love with his sister.